Good morning. This is Teresa Nikas, and this is today's Quiet Echo. There is a young mother here in town named Katie. She stopped me on the sidewalk outside the paper last week, a baby on her hip, and a question she had clearly been carrying around for a while before she found the right person to ask it. She did everything right the first time. When her son was born, the pediatrician told her to keep peanuts away from him. No peanut butter. Nothing with peanuts in it. Not until he was older. And Katie was careful. She read the labels. She did exactly what she was told to do. Her son has a peanut allergy today, the serious kind. The kind you carry an injector for. The kind you ask about at every birthday party for the rest of a childhood. Now she has a daughter, 8 months old. And at the last visit, a different pediatrician told her almost the opposite of everything she had been told the first time. Start peanuts early. Give them often. It is the surest way to keep the allergy from ever taking hold. So she looked at me there on the sidewalk, and she asked me the one question I did not have a good answer for. "Which one of you," she said, "am I supposed to believe?" Now, I am not a doctor, and I told her as much. I could not tell her which pediatrician to trust. But I have spent my whole working life reading the public record of what people are told, and then, a few years later, quietly told to forget. And I knew the shape of what she was describing before she had even finished describing it, because it was not really a question about peanuts at all. It was a question about trust, about what a person is supposed to do when the people whose whole job is to be sure turn out not to have been sure at all. I have known Katie since she was a girl. I have watched her be careful her whole life, and I could see, standing there on the sidewalk with her, the peanuts were not the thing frightening her. It was the feeling of having done everything asked of her and still ending up right here. I have sat at the editor's desk of this newspaper for a very long time, and I have watched this same thing happen more times than I could begin to count for you. A study lands. The headline is certain. People go and reorganize their whole kitchens around it. And then, a few years on, the certainty turns out to have been pointed the wrong way the entire time. I have printed the headline myself, and then, a few years later, I have printed its very opposite under my own masthead, in the same plain type. Eggs were bad for you, and then they were fine. Salt was a quiet killer, and then the picture got a great deal muddier. And every single time, somebody here in town had already gone and rebuilt a daily habit around the first answer. The peanut advice is the cleanest example I know of. For years, the official guidance was avoidance. Keep the peanuts away from the babies most at risk. And then, in 2015, researchers followed more than 600 high-risk infants in a careful trial, and they found the opposite was true. Feeding those babies peanuts early, on purpose, cut their chance of the allergy by more than 80%. By 2017, the national guidelines had reversed themselves completely. And here is the hard part. The hard part is not the reversal itself. The hard part is what the reversal meant for Katie. The careful mother, the one who followed the old advice to the very letter, may have been doing the exact thing the advice was trying so hard to prevent. The people hurt the worst were the ones who trusted the instruction the most. Now, I want to be very careful here, because this is not a column against doctors, and it is not a column against studies. The reversal, the right answer, came from science. It did not come in spite of science. The same slow process which handed us the wrong answer is the very same process which went back and found the right one. And this is how real knowledge actually works. It is slow, it corrects itself, and it is honest enough, eventually, to admit when it was wrong. So the trouble is not the science. The trouble is the certainty we go and wrap around the science long before it has done anything to earn the wrapping. A single study is one voice in a very long argument. It is not the verdict at the end of it, and we keep on mistaking the newest voice in the room for the final word. A good newspaper is supposed to know the difference. My job is not to hand you the single loudest finding of the week, all dressed up as settled and final truth. My job is to tell you plainly what is actually known, and then to be just as honest with you about the wide territory of everything we do not know yet. When the evidence has not earned a verdict, the honest headline is the plain one. We are still finding out. So here is the small thing I want to leave you with this morning. The next time a study comes across your breakfast table with a big and confident headline, the new food to embrace, the old food to suddenly fear, the answer finally and fully in you, are allowed to wait. You are allowed to simply say, We will see. It is not ignorance to do so. It is the very same patience the science itself is still going to need. Katie is feeding her daughter peanuts now, carefully, trusting an answer which already reversed itself once before. And I think it may be the bravest kind of ordinary thing there is to act on the best we know today and to stay humble enough to change our minds tomorrow. Cedar Valley News has a group on Facebook. If you have something to add, you are welcome there. Tell us about a time you followed the best advice you had and then watched it change. I will put the link in the show notes. This is Teresa Nikas, your host for today's Quiet Echo. Thanks for listening. Quiet Echo is part of the fictional Cedar Valley News series, written by Evan Swenson, publisher, and Claude Marshall, AI developmental editor. While the people in town of Cedar Valley are fictional, the 2015 peanut allergy trial and the reversal in national guidance described in this episode are real.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open. This is Cedar Valley News.